In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light.
There are many tales in the Book of Oa, but have you ever heard one that's not about a Green Lantern?
In loudest din.
Captain, to all hands, load the escape pods. This is a full evacuation.
But sir, the gravity! The pods won't make it!
Or hush profound.
So, then we're doomed.
My ears catch evil's slightest sound.
Attention, Green Lanterns. You are harboring Grylar.
Let those who toll out evil's knell.
This is a crime punishable by extermination.
Beware my power, the F-sharp bell!
Gentlemen, the time has come once again to discuss things.
Hi everyone, welcome to a kind of different episode of Geeky Gentleman Fan Project Reviews. I'm Sid Part 2, joining me today is...
The Real Manos.
And Deadpool Zilla.
Indeed. And today, on the Fan Project Reviews, we're reviewing my fan project. And here's the thing, this can come off as totally self-indulgent, because it probably is, like nudge nudge. But in all honesty, we do these reviews, fan projects. Doing these reviews is kind of what made me want to get back into a little bit and make one. And I figured, fair's fair. If I'm going to subject other people's stuff to review, I'm going to be willing to subject my own stuff to review. So I'm going to be here throughout this episode, for people to listen, but I'm really going to restrain myself and basically won't be talking at all. My microphone's going to be muted almost the whole time. And I picked Dimplezilla and Manos because neither of them had any involvement with this project at all. They knew it was going on, but they never saw a draft of the script or heard any works in progress or anything like that. So they're pretty much fresh ears for it, and I was just so they're about as pure and untainted as they can get, besides just being cool dudes. So anyway, I'm gonna pretty much just hand the keys to the castle over to Manos and let him go about hosting this episode, this review, and I'm gonna kick my microphone over to mute now. So see you later, folks.
Okay, thank you very much there, Sid Part 2. Sid Part 2 coming at you here at the AM dial. Hey, this is the Real Manos with my partner, Deadpool Zilla, and we're talking about this crazy little Green Lantern fan film. It's a fan drama featuring some characters I am completely unfamiliar with. And it is called Ring of Victory. That's a crazy, nutty kind of project he put together here using a bunch of voice actors and special effects to put together this original drama about Green Lantern character. Do you remember what his name is?
No.
Rotlop fan.
Let's see, Rotlo. Tonelok, I think his name is Tonelok. Let me double check here.
Rotlop fan.
Let's see, Rop fan. Okay.
Sure.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm actually. Yeah, I only know. I've only owned a handful of Green Lantern comics in my entire lifetime. So I'm actually more familiar with the basic. I don't know what 5, 6 main Green Lantern characters. And so this guy was complete unknown to me. But I found his story really interesting. Let's see, have you heard of this character before? You haven't heard of this character before, have you?
I want to say he's like a He's either Alan Moore or Grant Morrison's creation. I can't remember.
I remember with the stinger at the end, Ian mentions that he is from an Alan Moore story. I think an annual story where he was introduced. I haven't seen much of him. Is he a pink guy? I'm sorry, but I'm focusing so much on the fact that I have no idea who the hell this character is. But I guess I want to underline that because I found Ian's story and take on him fairly engaging and interesting. Because I'll go first, I guess, because essentially I thought the idea of doubt seeping into this character and his abilities to do things despite being successful for years is doubting his abilities and how effective they are. So that kind of comes into play with him coming to the Guardians about resigning, and they go, "Well, we'll mull it over. We'll kick it around. Why don't you do this thing about refugees?" And of course, he finds himself using his assets to great deal into this, and kind of finding. I don't know. I suppose since he's been around a while, I guess he's kind of rediscovering his importance with the Lantern Corps. I thought was really interesting. What did you take on the story?
I guess like my take was, since it's a Green Lantern who doesn't have a lot of character to him, I guess that gave Ian a lot of like room to play with how to do this story.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a neat idea. I figured that because he had talked about this for like years, and this was a character that he's really invested in for whatever goddamn reason.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see like a veteran of the Green Lantern Corps who we don't really get a lot of character to. It's kind of like, seeing one of the Jedi Masters who are just there and get all the EU stuff behind them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And I like the idea of a character who's kind of a veteran having doubt on the ability to keep succeeding, keep doing things. And I think that's really interesting because I think in fiction we pay a lot of attention to characters doubting themselves who are pretty new to what they're doing. But in all honesty, it happens to everybody. It happens to people who do things all the time, where suddenly doubt will come into their mind. Like, I've done this for 10 years. Can I do it tonight? And I've seen it with my own eyes, and I've experienced it with myself. Like, I've been doing videos for 11 years now, and every once in a while I'll go, I can't fucking do this.
I feel like that every day. In fact, today I'm kind of going through a mood, and I didn't want to do this. So here we are.
I know, and you kind of have to find yourself, and the thing is, there's no shame in that. That generally happens a lot, and we tend to glaze over that all the time. And I've experienced that. Yeah, I mean, I've had periods where it's like, I can't do videos anymore. That's just it. And then I kind of find it again and get back up and do it again. And I was really happy to see. I mean, I don't know if I'm so unfamiliar with this character. I don't know if that is a trait of this character in the past or not, or if that's something Ian found on his own with this. Either way, I mean, I was really happy one way or the other that he approached it in that manner.
Yeah. It is again, there's so much you could do with this character. It's just kind of, it's open ground to do whatever you want with a character. I mean, there's been tons of writers who just had a nothing character and gave him so much on its own. And you're like, oh, that's that person's character now.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's like how when Johnny Cash did "Hurt" by Nine Inch Nails, and they felt like it's not even our song anymore.
Yeah, I remember, what was it Trent Reznor said? He said, "I can't believe I wrote a Johnny Cash song."
Yeah.
And we've seen that in comics, where we've seen characters that were kind of just sitting around doing nothing until somebody finds...
Hal Jordan was a nothing character for a while until Jeff Johns did something with him.
Yeah, and like Daredevil is one of my favorite examples of that. Like, he was kind of just there for like, I don't know, what, 10, 15 years until Frank Miller came on. And like, whenever people write Daredevil or adapt Daredevil, like with the Netflix series or the current comics or fan fiction, they're not doing the Stan Lee version from the early '60s. No, they're doing the Frank Miller stuff.
They even do Mark Waid.
Yeah. Mark Waid's one of the ones on Daredevil. I mean, a little off topic, but Mark Waid's one of the ones on Daredevil that like found like a nice kind of sweet spot where that he could blend all that stuff, and kind of come up with his own shit. But I mean, I see this all the time, and I always like it when someone can find something, because Grant Morrison's talked about how there's no bad characters. There's just it just takes the right creator to come along.
Yeah.
Even when I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say another good example of this is like Denny O'Neil with The Question.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. I actually didn't have any good follow-ups on that. You can go ahead.
Yeah, but I guess like in terms of story-wise, this is like, again, like a veteran kind of going through, one last bow while having this kind of crisis of conscience, and it does invoke a lot of like PTSD kind of moments.
Yeah,
because you just do stuff. I'd imagine being a lantern probably weighs a lot more on you, because it's not like with the Jedi Order where, and I hate that people can compare the Order to the Green Lantern Corps, because the Jedi usually just don't let shit get to them. The Lanterns, their whole thing is emotion.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is that, you're basically a space cop and you're given godlike abilities and you don't have any, and I haven't seen the Green Lantern Corps have a mental counselor, so.
They should. They definitely should have one. That's a huge oversight.
Yeah. Well, it's the Guardians. What do you fucking expect?
So, actually, I like that you brought up Star Wars, because I was getting a major Star Trek vibes off this. What with the special effects and also all the protocol that we were dealing with a lot during the middle portion of the story, where he's like dealing with the Guardians putting in his resignation. And they're going, well, okay, we'll take a look at your offer and put you on this other project. And you're like, I don't know. In
terms of like, if we were going to compare Star Trek, this feels like something out of TNG.
Yes. Very much so. That tends to be, I don't know. I know the original series, is the beginning, but I don't know. I felt like the 90s TNG and Deep Space Nine, I feel like, is kind of the heart of what most people think of Star Trek. And that's definitely with me. They did a lot of building in that era. And this reminded me a lot of that, and that kind of storytelling, and that kind of protocol and character. I don't know. I don't want to say paperwork, but that kind of thing. And it was kind of fun, to be honest. Listening to characters go back and forth like that, and also deal kind of realistically with it. He didn't just quit and move. Like he probably would have been Star Wars. He would have thrown his lightsaber and done something epic and then walked off in a sunset, because that's kind of how Star Wars works. This is more close in vein to, the kind of, I don't want to say military, but yeah, I mean, kind of the military operations of Starfleet. I mean, you could have actually kept this story and changed the names and changed the concept to Star Trek, and put it in the Next Generation era. And I think this would have worked just as effectively.
Oh, yeah, totally. I would kind of want to see what Ian would do with Star Trek.
Yeah. That's my actually biggest criticism. This isn't Star Trek. I mean, I can't believe he screwed that up.
Yeah. I would also say that, despite it being like an audio drama, you definitely get like a feeling of, like this does feel like a Green Lantern story, and you almost like, it's almost like you are Rotlop Fam in that sense that, you don't see anything, but you can just hear it and sense it. Like, and I guess that's a crowning achievement when you feel that character through the audio drama.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
It does. And that, I guess I would also have to put it out there to Stuart Anderson, Pinchy 17, who I think did a really good job acting. If you don't mind, I'd like to kind of like steer this conversation into the voice acting.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I was very pleasantly impressed with a lot of the voice acting in this, particularly Stuart Anderson as Rotlop Fan. I'm just going to call him Fan. His work as Fan, I really enjoyed Adam McLaughlin as Busy Buzz Buzz, the Green Lantern Fly. Let's see, who else was this?
That's my Green Lantern's name, Bizk.
But let's see. I dug Kilowog. Good Lord. And I dug the Guardians. I don't know. I couldn't tell how many Guardian voices there were, but they were all pretty good. They all sounded like they had a nice gruff age to them as they spoke. And who else was really good? I don't know. I think those are the ones that stood out to me the most. But yeah, I was really impressed by all this acting. People are acting their asses off in this.
Yeah. One thing I'll say about Ian is that he looks for good talent. It's not like looking for Joe Schmo to voice this character.
Let's see. But yeah, it does feel like he probably, I don't know how much time he took looking for these actors, but you're right. It looks like he just didn't take anybody who said, I'll do it. It sounded like, he really put some thought into, the voice acting. I wouldn't be surprised if he did little auditions for them. But yeah, everybody's really...
At least we forget that you were a part of the last audio drama that he was...
And he learned his mistake. But yeah, I had a lot of fun playing Hal Jordan of all people. But yeah, that was really interesting. And I remember when I did that, I sent him the audio, but I mean, I took my time thinking like, okay, I've seen Hal Jordan for years. Like, what's my feeling for that character? What's my take on what he sounds like and his attitude? And I had to kind of sit down and kind of figure it out. I almost had kind of we did that before Guardians of the Galaxy, but I kind of put a kind of Star-Lord, Chris Pratt type of attitude on that. That wasn't my influence, but, that kind of guy, kind of fell into, my head when I was doing Hal Jordan. And let's see. I hope that worked out. I don't know. Did you like me? Was that okay?
Yeah, it was good.
But let's see. Yeah, so I really enjoyed this voice acting. Is there anything? I suppose we talked a little bit about the story and the writing and the acting. Let's see. I guess is there anything you want to kind of steer the conversation to, like maybe the sound effects or the music ability? The music ability. Well, I don't know what the fuck that is.
I would just say I would say editing in general was very well done for a fan project, especially in an audio drama. And someone who did and tried and failed to do an audio drama, the sound editing was really good.
I would agree to that. It sounded very professional. There's only a couple lines here and there that sounded like they were in someone's room, but everything else sounded like pitch perfect. And that mixed really well with the audio. And yeah, we're dealing with kind of like super space stuff, epic, superhero battles and, spaceships and exploding all over their shit. And I'm still engaged when I listen to it because he was able to kind of sell it with the voice acting and the music and the audio. I think never really drops at any point.
Yeah. Ian, I'll give him credit, is that he wants to make this sound like as authentic as possible.
Correct. Yeah, I would say so. I hope he does more of these. I don't know if he has. I don't know if this was just like, fuck it, I'll just do this. I don't know if there's anything in his head like, I could do this.
Like I said, I'd like to see his take on a Star Trek audio drama.
Yeah, that would be great. And I don't know if there are Star Trek audio dramas. I know there are Doctor Who ones, but Star Trek would be like a good a place to mine for that kind of material. So you don't have to like go out and do all the special effects and green screening and shit like that. I mean, just like a capable story and good acting and good editing, which he's already got that. He's already proven he can do that. That's kind of all you need to put together an interesting project.
Oh yeah, but I think this was really good, and I would like to see if he could, maybe he'll do like other Green Lanterns, like lesser known. Like, let's see if he can do. And Manos, I don't know, like how much of the Green Lantern stuff is how knowledgeable you are of other lanterns, but if you thought this Roplop fan guy was weird, there's Leslie Pond, who is a sentient smallpox virus, who's a Green Lantern.
I think I've heard of that character. That would be a challenge. I know the squirrel character. I don't know if that character's alive or not.
Oh, yeah. I want to say he's dead. Like, if I remember right, he got run over by a truck.
Yeah. There's also... Well, I mean, I think he likes the Red Lantern cat character.
Oh, Dexstar?
Dexstar, yes. Not to be confused.
He has a weird obsession with Dexstar.
So I don't know. I always keep confusing Dexstar with Dexstar from Dexter's Laboratory, and Dexter, I think, created a robo-suit for himself or something. Like, that is literally the first thing I think of when I hear that.
But that's the thing. Like, you brought up a good point, is that it doesn't have to. If he does this again, maybe some of the other Lantern Corps, like maybe Dexstar or maybe something with the Indigo Tribe or St. Walker.
Yeah. That'd be fascinating. See what he could do with those. I mean, it's such a huge universe. I don't know. I complain about X-Men having too many characters, but sometimes I think maybe Green Lantern has like more.
And it's weird because DC has basically made the Green Lantern comics like the X-Men comics, where it's so away from everything else.
Exactly. Or, there are times where I think, like, the Legion of Superheroes should be, like, on par with Green Lantern. They have so much characters and mythology and a fan base that's pretty dedicated to it. And I feel like they keep kind of, I don't know, I feel like they keep dropping the ball on that thing.
They keep trying to be Jack Kirby, and they can't.
Well, that's a big problem with New Gods. But with I feel like with Legion of Superheroes, I feel like it's so in tune with the 50s and kind of the 50s idea of the future that I feel like sometimes the editors and writers at DC just kind of don't know how to translate that. Yeah. Maybe they're worried it wouldn't come off as believable, but it's like, come on, man. You have Dexstar. You have a Red Lantern cat running around. Like, yeah.
It'd be kind of fun for him. I actually would kind of like to see Ian tackle doing an audio adaptation of the Mr. Miracle comic by Tom King.
Oh, wow. Any Tom King stuff. A lot of Tom King stuff is so wordy and dialogue driven sometimes. That's not a bad idea at all.
Or hell, just for if that's too big, how about the Batman Elmer Fudd book by him?
Oh shit. I don't think I've never heard Ian talk about The Question, but The Question.
Oh,
I think The Question would be interesting. I'm kind of a sucker for all that kind of like classic film noir detective hero stuff, like The Question or the Wesley Dodds Sandman or The Shadow and that kind of shit. I always like that stuff a lot. I have a little bit of that floating around in the Red Knight universe, which I hope to use more. And I don't know, I'm always kind of a sucker for it.
Yeah. So is there anything else, or?
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. This was really...
I'm gonna kick back in here at this point.
Oh, hi. Hey, what the? I'm so embarrassed. We were just talking about you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make sure, because I always make sure to do this when we are very positive on a fan film or anything, and I do really appreciate the positivity, guys. It's great to hear that that's like, what all you really came up with. But I am gonna ask, is there anything that stands out to you that was a negative or was something that you didn't quite care for?
Well, I mean, the fact that you did Green Lantern at all, I mean, good lord, you should pick a good hero.
If you want something, like tangible as a critique, I would say the editing just needs to be a little tighter next time, because Mano said, is that it does sound like it's coming out of someone's house in some places. So.
Yeah, there was a couple of lines here and there. It actually, all in all, mostly sounded good, but there are a couple. And look, I can totally forgive that, considering you may be working on no budget. Yeah. And probably the people you're working with only have, so much of good equipment. Sometimes I have to do voiceover work for other people doing videos, and that's sometimes a struggle to maybe make sure my stuff sounds okay. So I mean, that's forgivable, but it is something that I noticed a couple times too.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure, get that one out there. I don't want... I feel better having to come in and say negative things about my thing, goddammit.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I can't really think of anything. I wasn't... I mean, because, I walked into this going, great, a radio drama with Green Lantern. But then I realized, fuck, it's not even a Green Lantern I've heard of. Damn it. So, you did a great job selling me on this. And
I appreciate that.
And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised in how much I enjoyed it. Sorry, I don't really have any vile negative things to dredge up on it.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure the opportunity was there. Did you have anything else, Templezilla?
No, not really.
Okay, that's fair enough. Well, I guess I'm gonna do one thing just because I think it's hilarious and probably no one will ever notice it unless I point it out directly.
Okay.
So I actually do have a very small role in this. I am one of the Guardians as they're all chattering when Rotlop Fan resigns. And I've now made this my headcanon. Because, Green Lantern canon is that one day the Manhunters, which were the predecessor to the Green Lantern Corps, murdered an entire sector of space, which is a bad. And so just when Rotlop Fan resigns, there's one Guardian that's just I don't like this interaction with the Corps members. this is why I wish we didn't abandon the Manhunters. And then everyone's like, are you serious? And he's like, listen, I know that they killed billions, but I'm just saying we all knew there'd be problems with the programming. And so that's just my headcanon, that there's now just that one Guardian who's always like really shitty that they abandoned the Manhunters.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to throw that one out there just for fun and games. But otherwise, I guess we'll just go on to ratings, and I'll thank you both again for indulging me, as it were.
No. I love to indulge. I really dug this. I don't really hear audio dramas as much as I should. It was pretty enjoyable.
I've seen some X-Men ones that I think I might end up picking.
Oh, that's actually a cool idea. We should probably, now that you mentioned this, I could go for doing some radio dramas now that we've done, like obviously films and animation, comics, and radio drama, I guess, is next. So yeah, let's add a couple this year. Yeah, all in all, I dug it, and I would have liked this even if my friend hadn't made it. So I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 resignation papers.
Cool.
Deadpoolzilla? I am going to give it 5 disgruntled guardians out of 5.
Nice one. Nice. Alrighty. Well, guys, thanks again for doing this. I really do appreciate it. Everyone, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully this isn't too much of just an ego stroke. I messaged Deadpoolzilla about it. I'm like, no, it's not just to stroke my ego. That's certainly a factor. Until next time, I'm the philosopher.
And I'm the realist.
And I'm here.
And we are your geeky gentlemen, and we will be discussing things.